Jim Carroll started working at KWHI Radio in Brenham, Texas as a part-time announcer while attending Blinn Junior College on a basketball scholarship. In 1954, he started announcing full-time. Jim said he did a daily polka show with hundreds of Czech, Polish, and German surnames he couldn't pronounce. He thought that people sent in requests just to see how he'd massacre the pronunciations. In addition to his polka show duties, he did a 15-minute scripted Spanish language music show. After all, he did take high school Spanish, and he would try just about anything. He did his first play-by-play and as a sideline took up professional boxing, which he did for 6 years while moving on in radio. Jim worked various Texas small markets, learning how to do radio, paying his dues, and starving to death. He finally ended up at KAWA in Waco. The station got a new general manager and announced they were going with an all-top 40 format, and that if he wanted to stay, he'd have to become the news director. Not knowing the first thing about how to be a news director, he immediately took the job. 11 months later, he got a call from a major market station, KNUZ in Houston. His hard work paid off, and he was on Houston's #1 rock station, Relearning Radio. From 1960 to 63, he worked KILT Radio and then moved up to KLIF Radio in Dallas, one of the decade's most powerful stations. Awesome numbers with 50,000 watts at 1190. After 4 years in Dallas, he was traveling back and forth from Dallas to Chicago, helping with early staffing on WNUS in Chicago, the nation's second all-news station. In the early 70s, Jim dabbled in sales and had his first full-time sales position at KJET in Beaumont, Beaumont's soul station. From there, he went to KFJZ and the Texas State Network, where he did morning and midday news. In 1972, Jim went a new direction, working with media and doing promotion for heavyweight contender, then champion George Foreman. After a couple of years, he got back into radio and became a minority owner with KMOR in Salt Lake City. Jim worked throughout California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, Montana, Nevada, and Utah for the William B. Tanner Company as the Western Regional Sales Manager. He'd work with a different radio or television station sales department each week, selling their clients and the benefits of jingles and annual contracts on his client stations. After working in yet a couple other radio stations, Jim Carroll landed in Kemmerer, Wyoming. For 5 years, Jim was general manager for KMER, also doing sales training for their stations in Jackson and Powell. When Texas was calling him home for 2 years, then KMER called him back. It was a tug-of-war between Texas and Wyoming, but in the end, Kemmerer became home. In fact, he was affectionately known around Kemmerer as Mayor Jim Carroll, mostly because he was the mayor for 12 and a half years. He was a member of the Lions Club, Rotary Club, Kemmerer Child Development Board, South Lincoln Hospital Board, Kemmerer City Council, WHAM Board, Local Government Self-Insurance Board. He's a member of the Wyoming, Montana, and Texas Broadcasters Association and is a member of the Texas Association of Broadcasters Pioneers. Jim has served the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters as president 2 times. The list of his interests and activities go on and on. Jim could do a Spanish program, but never learned how to say no in plain English. That is one of Jim's greatest qualities, his involvement in his community and his state. The most miraculous accomplishment of Jim's career was to find time to have a family. For 10 years, he was married to Guadalupe, where he became father to James, Billy, Paul, and Michael. He married Carroll in 1974, and they had Richard and Chris. He also became a stepfather to Carroll's children, Linda and Brian. So, all in all, there are 8 kids in the Carroll clan. The other babies in his life are his radio stations. He and Carroll, with David and Becky Smith, have KEVA in Evanston and Lease KNYN in Fort Bridger. He added KTHE and KDNO in Thermopolis, where his longtime associates and friends Dick and Joyce Howe run the stations. There is KWUD in Woodville, KTRZ and KWYW in Riverton, and KBCK, KANA, and KGLM in Montana. Jim's contributions to the industry are countless. He's done more in a lifetime than any of us even dream. The Wyoming Association of Broadcasters is honored to induct our good friend Jim Carroll into the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Jim, for your time and talent to our industry and this association. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Carroll.